purposes. And we encourage everyone to stay muted during the presentation. Now, before we proceed, I would like to welcome our guest speaker by introducing him. Mr. Saidu Danjima Jibrin is a business growth strategist, marketing expert, and business facilitator who has helped many businesses uncover smarter ways to grow and connect with their customers. Mr. Jibrin combines a scientific background as a medical laboratory scientist with an ongoing MBA in marketing at Dangote Business School, giving him a unique perspective to understanding customer behavior and business strategy. Mr. Saidu has trained entrepreneurs through programs like the Business Clinic, the Mastering Digital Excellence Workshop, and the Transforming Nigerian Youth program by the Enterprise Development Center, EDC, and MasterCard Foundation. Mr. Saidu is also a passionate about empowering youth and SMEs with practical marketing strategies that drive growth. So the floor is yours, Mr. Saidu. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Ibu, for that wonderful introduction. Thank you, everyone. Once again, I'm delighted and happy to be among you all. This once again inspiring webinar where we get to learn and interact with one another. So I'll quickly share my screen and we'll proceed with today's discussion. So inshallah, we are going to be, diving into a very, very important topic, which I believe is an aspect that is very, very much important for our business. So you as a business owner, someone that you have a business, or someone that you don't have a business yet, probably you are just working with a company as maybe a marketer, or maybe you are dreaming of starting your own business. This is something that is going to help you, a lot. So inshallah, we are going to be talking about leverage, how you can, take advantage of consumer psychology for business growth. First, when we talk about psychology is just the scientific study of human behavior, how people think, how we behave, either as single individual or in group. So, and I believe that everything we do is all about psychology, right? Right from children, right from when we are growing up to adulthood. It's all about our behavior. It's all about, psychology. And in business, a lot of psychology is involved in business. Take, for example, now, currently, the new iPhone 17 is around now. A lot of people have gotten it. Now, when you look at young guys, those people that are using iPhone, they have that, there is that urge to quickly switch and get upgrade to the new iPhone 17. You understand? So, and it's not when you actually look at the previous one, iPhone 16 and iPhone 17, there is no much difference. It's all the same. The only thing that is just the design, and stuff like that. But everybody wants to hold it, and this Apple company, they know that this is what is actually happening. They have studied their, their audience, they understand them. So because of that, they use that. So everything around that is just psychology. People want to upgrade, they want to get it. And once that is by next year again, they'll be looking forward to, bringing another one, which the difference is not much. It's just for them to just change the design, add one more camera, put another camera, but it doesn't matter to those people that are buying the phone. To them, it signifies something else, right? So it's all about psychology. So quickly, before we move on, I'll just quickly share a personal story, of how this psychology have played out um for me and a friend. I had a friend of mine met me one time, and he said that he was craving for what do you call it, for pizza. So he wanted to go to Domino's Pizza and get a pizza. So we now went together. His plan was to just get the medium-sized pizza, which was around 10,000 naira. So that was just his plan. He didn't plan to spend more than that at all. So, but on getting there, we left that place and my friend spent 19,500 naira instead of the 10,000 naira initially planned to spend. What happened? So what happened was this: when we were at the counter, when he was making his order, after he asked and he placed his order, the guy there, that is the staff of the Domino's, after he took his order and everything, he now said, "Oh, sir, if you don't mind, there is a current promo that we are running that you can get, instead of getting one pack of this pizza, you get two pack instead with an additional chocolate bar and a meat pie and stuff like that." So the guy was like, "Wow, really?" But that was my friend. They say, "Yeah." He now said, then, but to get that, it's just going to cost you an additional 9,500 naira to what you are paying. So my friend looked at it. I was just looking at it. I was just smiling like, this is psychology actually playing here. You understand? So at the end of the day, he did the calculation. Okay. So he now did logical calculation that this pizza that he wants to buy, one of it is 10,000 naira. So two of that pizza is automatically 20,000 naira. But they are not just going to give him those two pizza. He's also going to get a chocolate which costs around 5,000 and another meat pie again which is around 4,000. So at the end of the day, everything is close to 30,000, but he's going to pay 19,500. Now look at the everything, the whole package. So because of that, he didn't even think much. He just looked at his account. Okay, well, I think I can do it another extra pack, and he paid for it. Hello guys. Sorry, in network. I had some a little glitch with network. Hope you guys can hear me now. I'm back. Ayatollah, can you hear me so I can proceed?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, okay. So I don't know where I stopped, so that before the network kicked me out, so that I can just proceed.
Yes, you
Can
were
you?
explaining the incidents with your friend who went to buy pizza.
Exactly. All right. So
Yes,
yeah, so
so
as I was saying, okay. So at the end of the day, he was giving an extra the guy at the pizza place told him that, well, you can actually get some extra pack of pizza with an extra bar of chocolate, and then you also get a meat pie. So everything in the whole total package cost around close to 30,000 naira, but he was told that he's just going to pay less than 20,000. That is 19,500 for everything. So that was something that, you know, he actually took advantage of it and he paid the money. So his plan initially was to spend 10,000 naira, but he ended up spending double of that amount. What happened? The guy at that Domino's Pizza actually played into his greed. You understand? Human being, naturally, we are all greedy. We all want something more than what we are supposed to get. When you are told that when you want you are going to be given one pack of maybe a biscuit, and you see that, oh, there's an opportunity that you can get two packs, you end up going for that because that is just is naturally is greedy. So this is just one of the example of how psychology plays, because for these Domino's guys, they have actually made money from him because is they have made him spend more money. Yes, you might think that, okay, well, he might be the one cheating them probably, but it's not actually. When you look at deep down, when you do the back end analysis, you see that at the end of the day, they are making more money from him. You understand? So that is that. So now, when we talk about consumer psychology, um, we look into it from the angle of a psychologist called Daniel Kahneman. So this psychologist actually came up with a model, you understand, for dividing the thinking of individual into two. He said that individually, every individual, our kind of thinking, our model of thinking is of two types. The first one is what we refer to as the fast, automatic, or emotional thinking. Now, fast or automatic emotional, these are the kind of thinking that you do whenever you want to, make decision on things that are just trivial. You understand? For example, you want to take your bath and you realize that your soap has finished. When you go to the store to buy soap and maybe the brand you are buying, you don't need to think too much about making decision to buy the soap. It's just something because it's something like normal thing, everything you do day to day. You understand? Or you are using electricity, you are buying a meter, and the meter just finished while you are watching a program. For you to buy another meter, you don't need to think too much. This money, should I spend it? Should I? No, immediately it's something that you just take. That is that. Then the second part is the SDL system, known as the slow, deliberate, and logical. Now, in this model of thinking, it deals with you making decision of things that are very, very high. You understand? Say, for example, you want to buy a piece of land. You don't just wake up and just decide that I want to go and buy a piece of land in maybe in Kunto or in Java that's worth millions. It's something that you have to be planning for a very long period of time. So if you're in business, your goods or your service will fall into these two categories, meaning that instead that you are selling something that people just make decision and buy it immediately. They don't need to think twice. I don't need to consult with anybody or stuff like that. Or it is something that involves a long process. You understand? It involves people thinking, people planning for many months before they buy it. Example for fast, automatic, or emotional is maybe when you are selling shoes. that is not that expensive, or you're selling bags, or you're selling guluswa, you're selling food, or you have a restaurant. Those things, people don't think too much before they'll, make decisions for that. And for the second part is maybe you are into cars, you are selling cars, or you are selling houses, you are selling land. So you know that people that come and buy those kind of things for you, they need a lot of time to think and plan towards it. You understand? And there's this aspect of cognitive bias, meaning that, when there is scarcity, there is that fear of people missing out, social proof, anchoring, all those things can also affect the decision of people. As we go on, I'm going to, go deep into those things, and we'll talk more about it. Um, so now let's look at some of the actionable strategies that you can use to leverage consumer psychology. What are some of the things that you can do, for this consumer psychology that you can actually use, ethically to make a lot of money, to increase your sales or revenue, to get more customers? The first aspect is the area of building brand loyalty. Like I made mention of this, give a safe example of Apple. When you look at the consumers of Apple products, it's all about brand loyalty. It's very difficult for you today, for somebody that's been using Apple products, whether their laptops or their phone, for them to switch to Android. It's very, very difficult. Do you understand? It's just about brand loyalty. So in this aspect of brand loyalty, we'll talk about what is known as the endowment effect. Endowment effect simply means that people ascribe more value to things simply because they own them. You understand? When you give something to somebody and they have it with them, you understand? They give it more value. A very typical example, like banks. There was one time I started using GT Bank, and I started using GT Bank. I opened a GT Bank account, and I noticed one thing in their SMS. When they send SMS, it's more of my GT bank. That mine, you understand, that they put there, that kind of like make it that, oh, this thing is mine, it's yours. But actually it's not yours. You understand? So that kind of feeling makes you kind of being attracted to it. You understand? So this is one of the strategies that you can use. Example is when you also use, what you call free trials, or try before you buy models. This model is used very, very well by Igbo people when you go to their shop. How many of you here have gone to, any Igbo shop to buy something before? Can you just drop an I in the chat? We have gone maybe to buy a shoe or a bag by Igbo man. Let me see response in the chat board so that I will know that you guys are with me. Okay. Then we have somebody. Hi. Okay. I mean, okay. That is good. Who else? Mohammed. Okay. Saifullah. Nice. So now, if you have been to this Igbo people's shop to buy something, there's something unique about them, most especially if it has to do with if they are selling items that is wearable. For example, shoe. When you go to Igbo man shop to buy shoe, and you go into the shop and you see the shoe that you like, immediately you pick it out, it brings it for you. Before you even start talking anything about price, you will ask you to try it on. True or false? You understand? They will just, he or she will just bring it and say, oh God, no worry, just bring out. I'm gonna try and make see. You understand? They'll just put it, put leather, you put your feet inside the leather, and then you just put your leg. You put, they will ask you to even walk around so that you feel it. You understand? All those things is what you know at the endowment effect. When you already put that thing on, you start feeling yourself that you already own it. So because of that, you'll be easily convinced to want to buy, that shoe. Now, the second thing aspect is the power of storytelling. People are moved by story. We all love story, right? Once you go, for those of us that have gone to, university, which I'm very sure a lot of us here, we be a lot when you are asked who is your favorite lecturer? Most of the time, you will always say that lecturer. We always pick that particular lecturer that is always more of giving story whenever they are giving lecture. True or false? You understand? You know, they have those lecturers that when they come to the class, you know, it's like 70% of the time they spend is talking about, you know, stories, telling about a lot of things, you understand, and relate it to what they are. So we tend to, you know, get that, give a lot of attention to that. So when your brand has a compelling story, it creates that emotional connection, you understand, that transcends more than just transactional relationship. There's this one time I was watching a program of a lady that does this, she has a startup, a company that does delivery kit. You understand? Delivery kit in the sense that when women may deliver, you understand, when they give birth, there's this kind of things that they need, understand, to stop bleeding, to, you know, those kind little kits like that that they use. So that is for those that don't deliver in the hospitals, maybe like outside the hospital, like those ones that delivery is done by birth attendants, you know, these local birth attendants. So what actually, and she was giving a story how she was able to, you know, why she started the company was that based on the experience that she saw from her sister. That her sister, when she was little long time ago, her sister gave birth, and you know, there was no lots of some kids since was not around. They didn't have some tools that they can use after she gave birth, and because of that, she actually bled to death. So when she was starting the company, she needed kind of like investor support. So she reached out to a billionaire, you understand, to get support. And she actually used this story. And that billionaire immediately sent money and invested in her business. Why? Because that billionaire is shared the story that his mom died after she gave birth to him. So you look at now, just, you know, see how that is, right. So is her story kind of correlated with him, you understand, with his own story. So it made the transaction very simple and easy. So it's more of like he's investing to something that is, it has a connection with. So that is it. So your brand, you should come up, you know, with a story. If you have a story, something that, you know, made you to start it, you should share that story, let people know about it. There are a lot of people out there that will connect with that, and, you know, they will come a loyal fan or a customer or even a partner or an investor for your business. Then the third thing here is to create a sense of belonging. Foster a community around your brand through user groups, forums, or social media engagement. Social media is here today, the internet is here, and it has made a lot of things very easy for us. It's very easy to grow a brand with social media. So when people feel that they are part of your family, you understand, but they are not just your customers, that you are just getting their money, they are more of like a family to you. It kind of make them feel happy. This is something that is very peculiar to football clubs. You understand? Fans don't make money. You understand? You see all these Chelsea fans, Real Madrid fans, you see how they are so passionate about it. Understand? They don't make a lot. The clubs don't give them anything. They are the one that actually paying the club. You understand? You see them come to the stadium in thousands to come and watch match. Why? Because they are this passionate. Because there's this kind of community that, you know, the clubs have built with them. You understand? Where they kind of engage them and have those kind of social media engagement and even physical engagement with them. So for your brand, to think of something that you can just maybe create a WhatsApp community. If you are selling, maybe you have a boutique, a fashion designer, and you have a lot of customers, people that love you, can create a community, maybe a Facebook group or a WhatsApp group where you put everybody there, and they can just let them interact with one another, you know, because they all share something common, which is they have that form of they have the same taste in your fashion product and what have you. So because of that, it can make them to, you know, be more loyal to your brand. So that is that regarding brand loyalty. Then the next thing is the marketing and messaging. Now, in this aspect, one of the things that you can leverage on for psychology, consumer psychology, is to leverage on social proof. When you leverage on social proof, this involves one, displaying review and testimonials. People love it. You understand? People will believe their friends and their colleagues more than they will believe you that you are selling a product or service. It's very simple. People will believe people more than they believe you. So if people have used your product or service, share testimonials. Tell them that they should send you a video or maybe just a video, or they can even text it to you. What is their review, or how do they see your product or service? Let them share, then you can put it. If you have a website, you can put it. If it's your Facebook, your social media handle, Instagram, post it there so that when people come there for the first time, they will see it and they will actually want to. Then show user numbers. When people see that a lot of people are actually doing something or they are buying something, a lot of people will want to get that thing too. It's just the social effect as human being. We always want to go follow the crowd. So when you see that a lot of people are coming to your business, tell people, use fear of missing out. This is something that we don't like. We don't like it. A human being naturally, when you tell them that this thing is going to get finished in the next 10 minutes, a lot of people will be rushing. Understand? I don't know if you have experienced that kind of thing. Maybe you are organizing an event and there's going to be a registration
Okay, hello. It's like the facilitator is having network problem again. Please, sorry. Uh, the network has pushed our facilitator away. So in the meantime, this is Fantel Business School webinar. And for new participants, Fantel Business School is an institution that helps people structure and formalize their businesses. We also host a business webinar every Saturday in English and Wednesdays in Hausa language. Also at Fantel Business School, we offer business development services, CSC registration, and TIN number generation. Yeah, I believe our facilitator is back. You are welcome, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry again, the network keeps kicking me out. So yeah, as I was saying, so now the fear of missing out, just as I said. So when you organize an event, for example, and there is 5 days to the deadline, you see that a lot of people will not register until that day five. Sometimes when it's 1 hour to the deadline, that is when people will start, pushing. The same thing happens in the school when there's registration. Maybe new sessions, students are supposed to register. So students will not register until the last day or the last week. That is when there is. So because of what the fear
So it's like the network has done it again.
of missing out, when there's a fear of missing out, as to also
So please, sorry, we are having some network issues. I can see that Mr. Saidu is pushed out again. I believe he will be back in a few minutes.
Yeah, I'm back. Actually, it's I'm
Okay,
just
well,
receiving calls on my phone. I'm just trying to cut it off because my Wi-Fi is not connecting, and I'm using my phone, and somebody is just calling me and disturbing me. Okay. Sorry. So I'm back. Let me quickly continue. Sorry, I'm so sorry for the distraction and the in and off. So now, the next thing part is to create scarcity and urgency. Scarcity and urgency, when you have a limited time offer, like a discount, a limited quantity, all these things, it makes people to act fast and actually get your product or service. This is something that is very common for e-commerce uh, product companies. When you go to all these e-commerce sites like Jumia or Konga, you click on a product, the next thing you see is only five available. You understand? Or they'll give you a discount that they will say the discount is going to end in the next 24 hours. So you might not have the interest of buying that product at that time, but because of that urgency that has been created, you just feel like, let me get this thing before it goes up or before it gets finished. So you can use that for your business. This can actually prompt people to, you know, get your product or service faster. Because naturally, when there is no sense of urgency, people don't usually act. You always just feel relaxed. Understand? Then appeal to identity and values. People buy products that align with their self-image or aspirational self. You understand? This is very common. This is a very good thing when you are in the business of fashion, for example. When you look at some of these fashion brands, you see that they use the kind of people that they use as their model to, wear their clothes and this. They are like very, very they are celebrities, some of them very influential people. Why is that? Why is it that they don't just use random people? Because they know that you as the prospect that they are targeting, once you see somebody like Alinu, for example, you see him putting on a particular dress because you aspire to be somebody like him. You understand? Not like an actor like him, but at least somebody influential, somebody of his caliber, and you see him putting on that particular clothes, you also want to get it. You understand? Do you see it's very common today, like in this Gen Z, you see a lot of these Gen Zs today, they are just putting on clothes, they want to buy shoes that a particular celebrity is wearing. Why? Because they see themselves in the image of that person. So this is also something that you can use. You can appeal to identity, and the value, the kind of people that your prospect wants to be like. You want to ensure that whatever you are doing, it aligns with them. So that can make you to, get more customers and eventually grow your revenue and build your business. So that is that regarding marketing and the messaging aspect. So now we'll move to the other aspect, which is the pricing and packaging. Now, for the pricing and packaging, this is something that I believe there are different aspects to it. The first one here is what I will call the decoy effect. The decoy effect is when you introduce a third or a less attractive option to make one of the other two seem like a better deal. For example, you are selling maybe caps, for example, now, and you post it, you put it, and you put the caps, maybe like three different cap. Maybe, for example, the one that you actually want to sell that is of the greatest important for you, you price it to give maybe 20,000 naira, right? Then the one that you know that this person might not really want, you bring another third option and just increase the price. You understand? Make it like 25,000 or 30,000. So that person will just easily go for the one that is lesser. That is just what it's all about. Then the next one is what is known as this simplifying the choices. Simplifying choices, there's what is called known as the paradox of choice. if there is too much option, when you give people too much option to choose from, they easily get confused. You know, so I don't know whether you guys have noticed that when you go into a shop to buy something and you see, maybe for example, you want to buy, let's say for the first time you want to buy pesticide, maybe insecticide, you just see different brand, like 10 different brands. At the end of the day, what you end up doing is that you will just call the person, the store owner, and ask him or her that, please, which of them is the best one? You understand? And they will end up being the one that will choosing one for you. But you have the option to choose at that time yourself. But because of the options are so many, you just get confused. You don't know. You understand? So what you want to do is that as a business owner, if you really want people to actually make decision fast and get your product, don't come with too many options for them. Simplify the choice. You understand? While having options is good, too many can lead to decision paralysis and what dissatisfaction. Because when they pick one, if they have like 10 different choices and they pick one and they go and it doesn't work, they will just feel like, if you have choose the other one, they will just, they will not have that kind of dissatisfaction and they will become confused. So you have to, make sure that what you are offering is not too much. You understand? You can put your options to maybe two or three at most to the customer. Don't make it too much. When you make the options too much, they'll get confused and they will say that, okay, give me time, let me think about it. And they will not come back again because the thing is too much for them. So that is what you need to do. Simplify the choices. This is going to help you for in order for the customers to actually, you know, um make a decision. Then there's what is known as the charm pricing. Now, pricing in this aspect is this, if you guys, many of you, when ShopRite was in Kano, for those of you that are in Kano or have stayed in Kano, um, if you have gone to ShopRite to buy something, you notice the way they price their product on the shelf, right? You see maybe a bottle of Coca-Cola, they'll put four around 450 naira 99 kobo, right? Or they'll put maybe a pack of biscuits. They'll put 120 naira 57 kobo. But you know very well that if you go and you take that item, you are not going to actually uh, get any change in kobo back. It just means the old. So that is just the price is a decoy, is a pricing, strategy. Because when you look at logically, when two products is brought before you, one is priced 999 naira, and the other one is priced 1,000 naira. Automatically, you feel that the 999 naira is more cheaper than the rest of 1,000 naira. True or false? Let me get your response, guys, so that when you have two options, okay, I mean, yeah. So when you have two options, one they're saying um naira 99 naira and the other one is 1,000 naira, you feel that one of naira 99 naira is cheaper, while actually the difference is very insignificant, right? Just 1 naira difference. So that is that. So sometimes this can also be used and your pricing, you can just, instead of giving a whole price, you can just cut it, and instead of saying that your product is 10,000 naira, you can just say 9,000 naira 80 naira. You understand? That can make people to actually feel that, okay, there's a lot of kind of like reduction or stuff. So that is that regarding this pricing and packaging. So now one thing here, the next aspect is looking at the ethical consideration. Now, I know that I've made mention a lot of things about how you can leverage some kind of psychological stuff to, make people to want to patronize you more or buy more of your product or stuff like that. But you need to understand that you need to consider what you are doing ethically. You understand? There is a thin line between persuading and manipulation, because business, marketing, sales is all about persuasion, right? It's all about telling people, kind of like making people, giving people that thing that is going to make them to come to you instead of going to your competitors. So that is what all of it is about. So you need to first of all avoid the dark patterns. Don't use or manipulate some tricks, some things that will trick users into doing something they don't want to do. You understand? For example, you have a hidden cost. You tell people that this your product is just 5,000 naira. They pay 5,000 naira. Then when it's time to deliver, you now come and tell them that, oh, sorry, there is a payment that you need to pay 1,000 naira for the packaging. You need to pay 500 naira for delivery. You need to pay that, but all those things, it doesn't make sense. If you know everything, make sure that everything is intact. Don't manipulate. Just try to come out straight and ensure that you are telling the truth. Transparency is very, very important in business, because if you cut corners and decide to, manipulate everything and get them to buy your products or pay you for your service, yes, you get with it. You get what you want at that time, but that is going to discourage once the customer finds out that you have actually tricked them, you have manipulated them, it's going to prevent them from coming back to you. And you know what that does to a business. The business that doesn't have a repeat customer is liable to die at a very young age. So ensure that you are straightforward, you are transparent, you don't try to, cut corners or do anything that is fishy. Then be transparent, be honest. When you say that your product is just 10 that is left, be honest about it. Make sure that it's just 10. Not that, for example, there are sometimes you say maybe some programs, maybe some paid events, so people will say that it's only 20 people that they are going to allow. You understand? So because of that, some people will feel that, okay, just 20 people, they don't like too much crowd, they will pay for everything, and then they will end up coming to the event and realize that they are seeing 50 people in the room. That doesn't make sense, right? So you need to avoid all that. Be transparent. When you say that this is how it is, make sure that the scarcity you are using or your messaging or even the story you are telling, make sure that it is true. They are not just cooking up something at the end of the day, because no matter how well you lie, at the end of the day to come out and the truth will come out, and it's going to ruin your business. Then the last thing here is to focus on value. The ultimate goal of using these principles that I've highlighted is, to guide your customers toward a product or service that genuinely improve their lives, right? So whatever you are doing, using all these strategies, when you are using a price, you are kind of like using the price decoy, or you are coming with a brand story. You understand? All these things is just because you want customers to come to get your product or service, because you actually creating something that will improve their life. Apple product, for example, which I always give example, which I always talk about, their product is very, very good. Nobody will tell you that their product is not good, and they know. So that is why, so no matter what they do, they are always making sure that their product or service they are giving is top notch. So whatever you do, also ensure that your product or your service is great, because a satisfied customer is a repeat customer, and a repeat customer will bring more business to you, and they'll also recommend their friends and family to your business, which is going to make you to grow and increase your revenue. So now this is a simple strategy that you can employ, you understand, or a framework that you can use to leverage this thing. This consumer psychology to increase your business. The first thing is you need to audit your business. Analyze your current marketing, your sales process. If you have a website, where are you already using any of these principles? You understand? You currently in your business, what kind of any of these principles are you currently using them? Are you using a kind of pricing strategy that will get, do you use scarcity? You understand? Do you use storytelling? All these things. Look at it. You understand? Then the next thing you need to do is to hypothesize. You understand? Based on the principle above, what is one change you could test? What is one thing that you are not doing currently that you feel that you can actually test? Because one thing about business marketing entirely is all about testing. You cannot conclude that this is not going to be good for you. You need to test it. You need to test and, get the result. Let the market tell you that this is good or this is not good. You don't just sit down and just analyze and just conclude. You need to test. That is a hypothesis. Then, yeah, the next thing is now you test and measure. You understand? So when that is just what I talked about, you test, and then when you test, sometimes you do what we call A/B testing, meaning that you will create this kind of marketing, then or kind of strategy. Then you create another strategy that is opposite of that. At the same time, you are testing everything. Then from the results you get, the data you get from those two strategies, you can be able to come to a conclusion that, okay, this one perform better than this. This one that I'm using is the best thing. Then you can use that. Understand? Data combined with psychology is a very powerful thing that can move your business. And the last thing is to iterate. You continuously refine your approach based on the result. Nothing is permanent, nothing is constant. You need to keep improving, you need to keep changing. Even though you have gotten that great result and you feel that, oh, this is the best thing that is working, you need to test something else. You understand? Okay, how can you make it better? How can you kind of like, restructure it? There's always a way that you can do that and come up with something that is more better than what you have done before. Then in conclusion, we need to understand that in integrating psychology into your business, you need to leverage consumer psychology. Understand that leveraging consumer psychology is not about deploying a single tactic. It's not just using one particular strategy and hoping that it's going to work everything. No, it's about building a customer-centric culture that understands the why behind the buy. Why are people patronizing you rather than the other people? You understand? Is it because there's a lot of customer reviews, people are talking a lot about your product or your service, or is it because of your pricing strategy, or is it because you don't give too much option? You just give small, options and people love it. Understand? So there are different tactics that you need to combine, and this is going to come together and ensure that your business grows and you service your customers. You provide quality service to your customers, because that is the most important thing of all of them. So with that, I think I've come to the end of the presentation. So thank you very much. I'm going to hand over to the host.
Thank you so much, Mr. Saidu, for this truly inspiring session. Thank you so much. The session was wonderful. I believe we have all gained new insights on customer psychology and how it affects business success. So I also would like to appreciate our participants, particularly those who have been with us throughout the session. We will now move to the question and answer segment of the webinar. So if you have a question, please type it in the chat box or raise your hands and I will invite you to speak. So we are waiting for your questions and answers now. So in the meantime, before we start taking questions, like I was saying previously, this webinar is organized by Fantel Business School. And at Fantel Business School, we offer business development services, CAC registration, CAC update, and TIN number generation. We also offer various programs designed to empower people with the right skills to start, grow, and sustain successful businesses. I can see that no question is coming. This means the session was understandable and yes, if you have a question, you can type it in the chat box or raise up your hand so that I can allow you to speak. So I think, okay, uh, a question is coming from Hayatullah Jamiu. She said, what are the best measurements methods to track the success of a psychological change? So this is a question from Hayatuddin. Mr. Saidu, I hope you have heard the questions.
Okay, yes. Thank you. I've sent the question. Ayatollah, he said, what are the best measurement methods to track the success of psychological change? Okay, the thing is, the best measurement is actually it will reflect on your sales. That is just it will reflect on your revenue. For example, let's assume you want to try the tactics of, okay, say how using of testimonials, for example. You have never actually posted a testimonial of somebody that is buying from you. When you try it, the thing is, there are some people that will actually want to patronize you, but they have that uh they are kind of scared. They are still on the fence. They are still doubting. Why? Because they don't actually know whether what you are selling or what your offer actually works. But once they see somebody which is not you, somebody else like them, saying that what you are selling or the service you're offering works, that doubt that they have will automatically just die and go down, and it's going to make them to take the action to buy from you. You understand, or patronize you. So the best measurement is just to see what is the level of your sale when you are not doing this particular thing, and now that you are doing it, what is the difference in terms of your sales or your venue of your revenue. You understand? If when you are using this particular strategy, you are making maybe 10 million naira per year, and now that you are using it, that's when you were not using it, you're making 10. Now that you started implementing it, after a year, your sales went up to 20 million or 30 million naira per year. And that is the only thing that you did. You didn't do anything else apart from that. You automatically, you know that this is what actually costs you. So that is the method that you can use in measuring it. So I hope that I've answered your question, Mr. Ayatollah.
So thank you so much, sir. I think it is time to wrap up. So on behalf of Fantel Business School, I want to sincerely thank you again, Mr. Saidu Jibrin, for sharing your wisdom and energy with us. And to our amazing participants, including those watching on YouTube. Thank you so much. Uh, thank you so much for participating. I think in the absence of any other thing, I hereby declare the session closed. Thank you very much.